Welcome to Ecclesia Principles, a biblical strategy for believers to engage in God's design for government with Ray Eppard.
Hello, glad you could join us again. We've been talking about how the Founding Fathers intended through the Bill of Rights to ensure the protection of the unalienable rights of all people, and that those things enumerated within the Bill of Rights were an expansion on what was in the Declaration of Independence. All men, these truths we hold to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that, if you would, we've went through the first 3 to 4 amendments. We're not going to go through all of them because the rest of them begin to break down in greater detail and branch off the basic concept of those amendments are designed to protect self-government, they protect family government, they are to protect faith, and that faith is a point of individual conscience, and that faith is not to be dictated by the government, nor is it to be restricted by the government. You see, that third jurisdiction, the church government, Jesus established that basically in Matthew 28:18. All power has been given to me in heaven and earth, therefore you go. He has that power now as the head of the church. But with that, ultimately, everyone will have to give account to him. Everyone. Everyone will have to give an account to him. That's why we call it church government. But if you would, in the broader sense, it is faith. It deals with the subject of faith. Everyone will have to give an account to him, because there is no other name given among men whereby we must be saved. But in that, obviously within Christianity, there are a number of denominations, there are a number of sects, there's a variety of approaches of different things that we, as Paul put it in 1 Corinthians 13, we see through a glass darkly. So what it really comes down to, James put it this way. He said, he who knows to do good and does it not, to him it's sin. And you see, that's really that jurisdiction of faith. This is not talking about, everyone has their own truth. But there's certain things that we see and understand, and maybe somebody else doesn't. Or somebody else sees it and understands it, and we don't. I have to act on what I know to be true from that standpoint. That's my relationship with God. That's my jurisdiction of faith. That is my accountability to him. And the Founding Fathers set out to protect that. And so if you would, the no establishment and the not prohibiting the free exercise thereof, it is, as we've stated, an acknowledgement of self-government and direct accountability to God, but an outgrowth of that is when we come together and we are similar in faith, that the government is not to dictate to us, really, unless we violate other people's rights. We are to be free to obey God and to practice our faith how we see fit. And that's not just in our home or in our place of worship. That's throughout our daily lives. That's something that's been given to us. But so many are using the Establishment Clause to restrict the freedom of religion from the marketplace, if you would. That was not the intent. And that is really a violation of religious freedom. It's a violation of religious freedom. And we need to be pushing back on that. I'll tell you a story real quick. When I was in high school, I was probably 11th grade. one of the administration, because there were people that sat with me, and we kind of had a Bible study at lunch in the cafeteria. And they came to me and they told me, you can't do that. And I said, well, then get me a place where I can. And after about 2 weeks, they came back and they said, well, we can't do that, because in order for you to have another location, then there would have to be some part of the staff that would have to be there, and nobody wants to do that. I said, okay, then I'll just keep doing it in the cafeteria. See, the cafeteria is my time. That's my lunch break. And if we want to sit down and peaceably assemble and discuss the Bible in the cafeteria on school property, I can do that, because that's my right.
You've been listening to Ecclesia Principles with Ray Eppard. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook on our Ray Eppard pages. This program was brought to you by Victory Worship Center and World Outreach. Services Sunday 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, 200 Hammond Lane, Stanton, Virginia.